Amélie is a beautiful and innocent French girl with her own sense of fairness. She has spent most of her life alone in an imaginary world. She decides to help others around her and encounters love along the road. Let's see what leads her to find true love in life. Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we will be going through the 2001 movie Amélie. It's time to recall. Let's get started. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The movie begins in 1974. We see a small girl named Amélie. Her parents are really weird. Her father was a doctor in the army, but now he works at a spa. He does not like it if someone stands not to him in the washroom using the urinal. He also does not like it if someone comments on his weird way of wearing sandals. He really likes to polish his shoes and organize his tools after cleaning them. On the other hand, Amélie's mother is a school principal. She has weak eyesight due to which her left eye keeps blinking. She hates if any wrinkles form on her body, and she also does not like it if someone touches her without her concern. She likes to watch figure skating on the TV, and she also likes to organize her things just like her husband. Both of these parents are really weird, and due to this weirdness, they are unable to give the love and attention to their daughter Amélie that she deserves. The thing is, Amélie has a heart issue, so they don't send her to school and teach her everything at home. Because of this, Amélie has no friends and she is really lonely as a child. To get away from the loneliness, Amélie uses her imagination. She uses her imagination so much that she starts to live her childhood in an imaginary world. The only friend in Amélie's life is their pet fish. The fish is so tired of its owners that it even tries to commit suicide by jumping out of its bowl. When Amélie sees the fish on the floor, she screams, and her father saves the fish and puts it back in the fish bowl. The fish had tried to commit suicide many times, which worries Amélie's mother, and she decides to set it free. The only friend Amélie had has left, and now Amélie is all alone again. One day, as Amélie and her mother are returning from the church, a tourist jumps upon Amélie's mother from the top of the church. The tourist was committing suicide, and this resulted in the death of Amélie's mother. After the death of her mother, her father distances himself from the rest of the world, and Amélie's childhood gets more lonely. When Amélie gets to the age of 18 years old, she leaves her house and moves to another city. There, she starts to work as a waitress in a cafe. The people working with her in the cafe are as weird as Amélie's parents. Amélie looks for happiness in small things in life, like looking at the expressions of people watching a movie at a cinema. She also likes to play with a spoon and throw rocks in the water. In 1997, as Amélie is getting freshened up, she hears the news on the TV telling about the death of Princess Diana. She drops the cap of the perfume in her hand, the cap hits a tile, and the tile opens a small compartment. In the compartment, she finds an old box. This box was hidden here 40 years ago by a boy. When Amélie opens the box, she thinks that she had found some kind of treasure. Amélie then decides to return the box to its owner. She decides that if the owner of the box gets happy after seeing the box, then she will spend her life making other people happy. She goes to her neighbor and asks her about the boy who used to live there. She knows nothing about the boy. She goes to many other people to find out about the boy, but she is unsuccessful. Eventually, she finds out the name of the boy, which is Dominique. One day, as Amélie is going to see her father, she stops at the train station and starts to listen to music. There, she meets a young man named Nino. Nino has spent his whole life alone, just like Amélie. She walks past Nino and does not talk to him. She spends many days finding Dominique. She goes to many houses, but Dominique is nowhere to be found. One day, as Amélie goes to her apartment building, she meets one of her neighbors, Raymond. Raymond has not left his house for the past 20 years, and he is a painter. He tells Amélie that he knows Dominique. Raymond has a rare disease in which his bones are very weak. Even if someone shakes his hand, the bones in his hand start to scatter. Raymond gives Amélie the address to Dominique's house, and she gets really happy. She goes to see Dominique and returns the box he hid so many years ago. She gives Dominique the box without coming face to face with him, and she looks at him from a distance. When Dominique opens the box and sees the things inside the box, he starts to cry as he remembers his entire childhood. After remembering his childhood, Dominique feels like talking to someone about what he feels like. He sees that Amélie is the closest person to him, and he starts to talk with her. He tells her that he wants to meet his daughter, whom he has not seen for years. He wants to meet her before she also turns into just a memory. He goes on to tell her that he wants to meet his daughter before he dies, and he also wants to meet his child, who he had never seen in his life. After this, Amélie has decided that she will spend the rest of her life making other people happy. On her way, she helps an elderly man who is blind cross the road, and she walks him across the neighborhood. She tells him everything that she sees around them, as he cannot see anything, but as Amélie tells him, he would at least be able to feel everything. This makes the old blind man really happy. Amélie is at her father's house, and she wants that her father would at least go out of the house and enjoy himself. She wants that her father would pursue his dream of traveling the world. She steals a gnome from her father's garden, and with the help of a friend, she sends the gnome on a world tour. She shows pictures of the gnome to her father as it goes to different cities. Amélie goes to the train station and sees Nino there again. This time, she feels something as she sees him. Nino starts to run away, and Amélie follows him. Nino gets on a bicycle, and as he gets away, a bag from his bike falls on the road. Amélie picks it up and has a look inside. She finds a photo album in the bag, in which Nino has collected pictures that people had to throw away after using the photo booth. The next day, as Amélie is working at the cafe, she sees a customer who regularly comes to the cafe for the waitress Gina. Gina does not like this person, but the man clearly likes her. Amélie goes to this customer and tells him that another coworker of hers, Georgette, likes him. She then goes to Georgette and tells her that the customer comes every day to see her. This way, she creates love between them both, which results in them being together. Amélie takes Nino's album and shows it to her neighbor Raymond. She tells him that there are many pictures of one man in the album, and it is hard for her to understand why this man throws away so many pictures of himself. Amélie goes to a shop near her house and sees that the owner of the shop bullies his worker Lucien all the time, just because he does not react to whatever the owner does or says to him. After seeing this, Amélie wants to change this, so she makes a plan due to which the owner of the shop would get tensed and he would stop bullying Lucien. As Amélie goes to the start, she finds a notice there from Nino, who wants to recover his album. Amélie does not want to lose the album, so she takes the notice down. The next day, as Amélie's plan for the owner of the shop is in progress, she changes his toothpaste and does many other pranks to annoy the owner. The owner gets so annoyed by all that Amélie had planned for him. Amélie's plan has worked, and he stops bullying Lucien. This makes Lucien happy, and he now works without any fear in the shop. Raymond also teaches Lucien how to talk back to his owner and tells him that he should not worry much about him. Raymond knows that Amélie is living a lonely life and she needs someone in her life, but he cannot do anything about it. After looking at the notice by Nino, Amélie goes to look for him. Nino works at many different places, and Amélie goes to each and every place looking for him. Finally, she found him at an amusement park where he works in a haunted house as a ghost. Amélie leaves a note with Nino's bike and tells him to meet her. She plays a game of cat and mouse with him as she confuses him and avoids coming face to face with him. Eventually, she returns the album to him, and he sees her from a distance using binoculars. Amélie is still really far from Nino, so he is unable to see her face properly. Nino is very curious to find out who this girl really is. Amélie has made other people happy. She has even made people fall in love. She thought this was the only way she could have been happy in life. She has forgotten about her own happiness, and as she never experienced true happiness in life. She has started to fall in love with Nino without even noticing it. There is some sort of excitement that she feels when it comes to Nino, but she does not know what love feels like. She wants to continue playing the game with Nino, and she gets a costume. She goes to the photo booth and takes some pictures. As she is about to leave the photo booth, she sees the man who always throws his picture away standing outside the photo booth. Now Amélie knows why this man always throws his photos away. On the other hand, Nino is looking for Amélie all over the city. He goes to different photo booths and eventually finds a picture of Amélie in one of the booths. In the picture, Amélie is holding a sign asking Nino to meet him at the cafe at 4 o'clock. As Amélie waits for Nino at the cafe, but he does not show up there. Using her wild imagination, Amélie assumes all the possibilities that could have happened to Nino. She thinks that maybe Nino had been looking for the photos and he didn't find Amélie's photo, or maybe Nino found the photo but was unable to put it together correctly. She even goes to the extent of thinking that Nino has been kidnapped and moved to Afghanistan. Finally, Nino comes to the cafe and Amélie gets really confused. She tries to hide her identity, but Nino figures out who Amélie was. When he asks her, she refuses to be the girl in the picture. Before Nino can leave, Amélie gives Gina a chit and she puts it in Nino's pocket. In the next scene, we see that Amélie is sitting with Raymond at his apartment. Raymond shows Amélie a painting that he made, and the girl in the painting looks just like Amélie. He tells her that she should face her fears and not stay alone. Amélie decides to meet Nino, and she goes to the photo booth. Then she makes a comparison to the authorities about the booth. As Nino goes to the booth, he finds the man whose pictures he had been trying to find for so long inside the booth. This man is actually a photo booth repairer, and the reason he left so many pictures was that he always came to check if the booth was operating properly. After finding this out, Nino gets really happy as a huge mystery has been revealed. Amélie walks towards the booth to talk to Nino, but before she can approach him, Nino leaves. He goes to the cafe to find Amélie, but he finds Gina there, who tells him that she likes him. Nino and Gina leave the cafe. When Amélie goes to the cafe, the customer there tells her that he left with Gina. Amélie gets really upset and she realizes that she has made a huge mistake by not talking with Nino earlier. Amélie goes to her apartment and she starts to cry. Suddenly, she hears her bell ringing and she gets near the door. She has a strong feeling that it is Nino outside her apartment. It actually is Nino, and he hands her a chit from underneath the door, saying that he will return in a while, then he leaves. Raymond calls Amélie and tells her that he has left a video message for Amélie in the bathroom. Amélie sees the messages, and Raymond tells her in the message that she needs someone in her life. If she lets this person go this time, her heart will get really weak and it will start to break like Raymond's bones, and one day it will be too late for her to do something about it. He tells her that she must go to Nino before it gets too late. Amélie runs to go find Nino. As he opens her apartment's door, she sees Nino standing outside the door. This time, without reacting as they did before and without wasting any time, they both tell each other how they feel about each other. They then kiss, and things start to get tense between both of them. As they kiss, they cast a shadow on the window, and Raymond sees the shadow using binoculars. After seeing this, Raymond is really happy for Amélie. After living most of her life all alone, she has found someone to be with in her life. Eventually, everyone is seen living their lives happily. Dominique has gone on to see his daughter and has created a strong bond with his grandchild. Raymond has focused more on his painting and now has almost completed his latest masterpiece. Amélie's father has finally decided to leave his house and pursue his dream of traveling the world. Amélie and Nino are also happy together. Before Nino, Amélie had never been happy herself in life. Instead, she had been working on making other people happy. Since a child, she had a very lonely life, but now she got the happiness that she deserves. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.